morning, everybody.
And good morning.
As Eddie Murphy said in Trading Places, Merry New Year! How are we all today?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm avoiding the lurgy that's going around at work and everywhere else. And it's nice and sunny in Teesside.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Same here. It's
raining in the morning, but it's just stopped. It started about 6 o'clock, pissing down, but yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, funnily enough, exactly the same in the Netherlands. It's been rainy all morning, and about half an hour ago, the sun's gone in now, so yeah, we're probably in for some more rain.
Yeah, I think that's forecast for the next couple of days here. That's forecast for the next couple of days here, rain. But,
okay, yeah.
We had a real bad one in a week. Oh dear. It was, I thought the roof was going to come off. It was the winds, the gales. Yeah. It was lifting the tiles just ever so gently, like you could feel them.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
You sure you didn't just have a bad curry, Kev?
No, that was last night.
That was those 8 pints of Guinness.
Is New Year's big over there in Amsterdam?
Oh yes, yeah. It's the fireworks have been going off since the middle of December, and tonight it'll be like a bad day in Bosnia. They really go for it. But we'll go to my parents-in-law, and they have they're almost right in the centre of town, closer to the centre than us. And there's loads of fireworks displays, so we'll go out there about midnight with a glass of something or other, and see you in the new year.
Obviously, being Ireland, there's fireworks that are banned for private users over here.
Okay, yeah.
Because of previous troubles, shall we say, and explosions and things like that. So the only ones you can go to are official ones. You can't buy them in the shops or anything like that. People smuggle them in from the north or from England, but it's that bad, Yeah.
Well, I think people spend an awful lot of money on it, and then it's all gone in 30 seconds. And, it's nice, as you say, with the organised ones. A lot of the restaurants do it around here. Especially the kebab shops, they absolutely love it. The Turks and the Moroccans, they get a big buzz out of a lot of bangs. So
let's get down to business anyway.
Yes, okay.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
I don't really want to talk about this next thing, but here we go. Right.
Hang on. First order of business, I think, should be Hugo.
Okay. If you want, I was going to do that at the end, but you can do that.
Okay, yeah, let's do it at the end then.
You sure? Okay.
Got it in there.
Okay. Yeah. No, he's definitely, he is always on my mind. As I'm feeling quite musical today. So Brighton versus Spurs. So trip down to the south coast for Christmas. Lineup: Vicario, Porro, Royal, Davis, Udogie, Sarr, Højbjerg, Johnson, Kulu, Son, Richie, and then the subs that came on were Lo Celso for Sarr and Gill for Richie in the 65th minute, and then Velez for Johnson in the 70th. This, I think, is pretty much a good starting point. What on earth happened? Over to you.
Well,
did we?
Yeah, we even Stephen for about the first 3 minutes.
Well, do you know what? Even me, as the resident optimist, even I saw that lineup and I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure that's going to work at the back there. I'm not sure about that." And it's just I think we played. I think every single player probably played overall probably about 40% of what they're capable of, like energy-wise, skill-wise, and all that. Not sure what the reason is. Everybody's got their own theories. I think it is the demand that's been put on them, like Big Andrew was saying. The demand that's been put on them since he's come in is huge, and until they're still getting used to that. And every now and again, it just takes its toll, doesn't it? I mean, I think when you look at the stats, we still managed to get an awful lot of shots on goal, and we hit the post a few times and stuff like that. So we did
disallowed.
Let's see if there's any positive from it. It's like we played badly, but we still we still managed to, you know, do enough that would have probably won the game on another day. You know, the arse on, you know, the same day. They were at home and we were away. They didn't manage to score when they played badly, and we did. So, which means we're still better than the arse. So
yeah, we all knew that. So,
well, yeah. So that was a kind of like summary, wasn't it? We haven't even got into the game properly. I think I must say the one player I thought did play well. I don't know about what you guys thought, was Udogie.
Yeah,
I thought he played. I mean, for him, it's obviously just a standard game, but he, you know, he seemed to be the only one who's picking the ball up, like loose balls up, and running with them, running away from, you know, the two or three Brighton players and all that, and making space and looking for that pass and stuff like that. Yeah, but I can't think of anybody else.
But he wasn't up to his usual standard. Maybe that was just because the rest of the team played so badly. That as you say, he was one of the. Him and Vicario were the bright sparks. Vicario again could have been 5 or 6, 7, but then again we could have had 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. It could have finished 6-4 to us if it wasn't for the post and things like that, you know.
Yeah. Just like that. Well, it's a few years ago now, 2007, I think, when we beat Reading 6-4 on the 28th of December, I think it was. I was there for that one. Yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster. That was Berbatov, 4 goals. Can't remember the other 2, but Block 34, Old White Hart Lane, that was a great day. The 4 conceded goals wasn't really, but you know, it's Tottenham, isn't it? Sorry, Kev, what were you going to say?
Yeah. No, I was going to say that was it the first goal that was down to Sonny when he lost it, and he sort of kicked the ball and it went backwards, and they broke from there and scored, and that was so. It's so predictable because I said to the missus, just me and her watching it, I said, there's going to be a goal here because of this. And it's just it's so sloppy and it happened, you know, it's one of them things, you know. We give our opponents goals rather than they earn them, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We create chances for them.
Yeah.
It's abysmal.
Yeah, okay. So I'd like to talk about these two. The centre backs, or should we say,
pretend we didn't have any centre backs in that game.
It was attack and defence. That was all it was. There was no.
Yeah,
I think that first goal could have been cut out if we had. There was one from the corner. Could have been. I don't know. Can't remember which one now. I didn't watch the highlights. So I was so pissed off. But if we had a defender, but one of the goals could have been stopped. But there's no one there to head the ball at. You know, it was just they had a free.
Yeah. It's standard defensive stuff, wasn't it? To, you know, mark up or see players coming in or pick up the loose players and stuff like that. Royale just looked constantly. If you look at the first goal, you see him chasing the ball around, but he's a yard off, so he's just going around in this little triangle and stuff. And it's just awful to watch. I mean, it's not really his fault. He's being asked to do a job that he doesn't normally do, but. You know, it's a symptom, isn't it? It's a symptom of the situation we find ourselves in with injuries and what have you. And
yes,
you know, after January, I think it'll all be sorted out anyway.
Yeah, we'll come on to that a little bit later. We've got another few transfer rumours. Funnily enough, only one defender. But this is obviously after the Dragushian and Tebow, the ones that we've done before. But yeah, a couple of new names, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I think Royal's first touch is absolutely atrocious. I don't know if I watched him closely the other day because of something I think it was Brian Daigle said on one of his shows, that his first touch, because he can't control it properly, the next thing he does is he backs into he goes into the forward and then tries to win a free kick.
Yeah, he like goes like he's down like that, isn't he? Like looking and stuff like that, and it's like, oh man, he does well on that right hand side where he's sprinting and he's already moving, and the ball gets passed to him just ahead of him, so he can run onto it. So he doesn't have to do a first touch and stuff. You know, it's that. So yeah, it was terrible. I mean, like. I don't think. What's that lineup again? Who was in there?
Sorry.
Ben Davies.
Royal and Davies. Now, if you look at the subs bench, you've got 3 central defenders on there. One of them obviously has the turning speed of the Titanic, but the other 2, that is their trade. And yeah, okay, they're young, but if they're not going to get a game now, do you think they'll get a game at all? We hear all this stuff about Postecoglou wants to play the youngsters, etc. Now, I know we discussed this, that it could destroy their confidence. If you're not given a chance, you don't know, do you?
Yeah, but when would you have brought them on?
Exactly.
No, at what point during that game would you?
I would have started one of them. I would have started Phillips probably next to Davies.
It's too much of a risk. We talked about this before. I think I'm with Andrew on this. I think it's too much of a risk. Yeah, a lot of pressure to put on young shoulders. I think. Maybe if you're trying to save injuries and stuff at the 65th minute or something, and you're 3-0 up, then yeah, absolutely. But
I suppose it's also true that they didn't have Basuma ahead of them as well, which is when we last played Davis and Royal. I think one of the reasons we were quite successful is because Basuma was there, taking a lot of the pressure off the centre backs.
Sarr as well,
yeah. Well, Sarr was there, but the problem with the formation, I thought, because Højbjerg runs around like a headless chicken. It's like sometimes it's like watching 6-year-olds play football. Everybody chases the ball.
Yeah,
there's just a whole group of kids in the middle chasing the ball, and that's what he does. He needs to have the discipline to stick back and let Sarr do the runs, because Sarr is so much better. Sarr is, as we've said before, if he continues the way that he's going, he's going to look an awful lot like Moussa Dembele. We won't be able to get the ball off him because he just has such good close control. But he was I don't know, where do I go? Do I have to go back? Because
exactly.
Højbjerg's doing a 100-meter sprint up the field to try and close down the goalkeeper, and he's got no chance. So it just doesn't. I think it's obviously difficult. And playing one of the youngsters when you have that kind of disorganisation in central midfield is probably not a great idea. So I'll shut up about that.
Can I go back to Romero just for a second?
Oh yeah,
I always said when I watch him, I feel that he always has to showboat his first touch. He'll get the ball, but instead of a quick release, he'll touch it and make it look good, and he'll swivel and then ping. He wastes seconds doing that every time in open play. I mean, and when someone gets a ball and he's nobody near him, he has to do that little showboat bit. His little dab and a little this to show how good he is, and then he pings it. And if you can cut that out, it saves a lot of risks to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cheers.
All right.
Yeah. Happy New Year to you as well, mate. Shame about that, but enjoy the game. And let's hope we get 3 points. I mean, we're going to talk about it later, but Bournemouth's going to be difficult. So a good form at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to give Dorrington or Phillips a go today alongside Davis. Yeah.
It's almost no choice, isn't it? Kev, were you on about Royal just a minute ago?
Yeah. He said Romero, but it was Royal.
I do the same thing with my missus. She said, "Don't you mean Romero?" Because I do a lot of cryptic stuff and stuff like that. And Romero and Emerson, they've got nearly the same letter combinations, and that's in my head,
Oh, I thought you were going to say that you call your missus your mistress's name.
No, she knows all about my imaginary girlfriends.
Which mistress? That's the thing.
Yes.
I obviously meant Emerson. Yeah, I do it every time. I don't know why. Emerson, Romero, the same letter jumbled. So to me, it's spaghetti soup.
But yeah, Happy New Year, Has. And enjoy, mate. And I hope to see you. Hope to collaborate in the new year. I need to try and get on some other shows because, only doing this one. It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything for my, media personality, is it? So.
Do some influencing.
No, you're right, mate. No, you're right.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, I'd like to. I'd like to mention my wife's. No,
No, just because I've done it last week. Well, off in the green room. Yeah, carry on.
Oh yeah. Okay. So terrible penalties to get away. Oh, what is Kulusevski thinking? That's the second time in a few games that he's done that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's bizarre, isn't it? It's like it wasn't even subtle.
Yeah.
No.
And especially, with VAR as well, you can't think that you're still playing in the Swedish third division, mate, where everybody's so drunk after the night before that they can't see when you're pulling someone's shirt. It just doesn't work. And someone mentioned the other day, I think, was it you, Simon, about there is a serious disciplinary problem in our squad. It wasn't you. Okay. But I just think that it's very true. The amount of red cards that we've had and stupid tackles and giving away stupid penalties. The one from Lo Celso wasn't much better, was it?
Yeah. Wow.
It just. Do you think that he's too easygoing on stuff like that, the manager? I know he comes across as easygoing. Obviously, he's not. And he pushes you physically. But is he a bit softer on the mental side that, he should be saying, look, guys, we can't afford to give away penalties like this?
No.
Yeah, he should be saying that, but you've got to look at the reason why it's happening. Obviously, it's frustration, isn't it? It's frustration.
Yeah.
And Kulu is in the penalty area it's the wrong one for him. He's not used to being in that penalty area. So he doesn't know what he's doing. So maybe that one was a bit like when you're going on a hike and you get lost and you're knocking on some random stranger's door and you don't know what the hell you're doing. Yeah, it was just like
Deliverance.
Yeah, like some strange world that he doesn't know how to behave in. But I think what it is, it's when you look at all the players and how everything's changed from the last few seasons, and that what I mean by that is like mentally and emotionally, like that Brighton game, right? Every single player knows that they can play that team off the park and they are better than them in every single area. And so when that's not happening and they can't pick up the reads and that frustration kicks in, and they're just like, can we just press the reset button on this game and just start again because we're better than this? Yeah. And that manifests itself in different ways, And you look at Vicario, for example. He'll just, he's alongside Pedro Porro, probably one of the most passionate players around, and you can see him bellowing at the players and when things aren't going quite right and all that, and equally when things are going well, Vicario will celebrate like he scored the goal himself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with that, when the bar is set that high, when it doesn't go right, you lash out, and whatever job you're in, that happens, and I think that's the reason for it, and that's why I think the manager's not clamping down on it, because he doesn't want to lose that kind of passion. You look at Romero. I think Romero's been unlucky in terms of his sendings off and bookings and stuff like that, because he doesn't go in there with any bad intent. Well, this season, I'm talking about this season. He doesn't really go in there with any bad intent. You look at each individual one, like the last one, for example, is where he slipped at the last minute and his leg's gone up and caught him on the knee. And that looks bad, but it's because he slipped. It wasn't, overzealous, despite what Gary Neville thinks. And I think it's just a symptom of the way we've changed as a team, in every single area, like I said, mentally and physically and everything. and the demand that's getting put on these players is. I don't feel sorry for them because I think they love it. I think they absolutely love where they are now, especially the players that were here the last season or the season before that as well. I think they absolutely love where they are. And the evidence of that is Ben Davies.
Yeah.
You know, he's been a mediocre player, good squad player for 10 years. And this season, as it is now, he's playing probably the best he's ever played. And that, can you imagine being somewhere for 10 years, working hard, getting okay results, and then where do you ever see it where like you become like the cream of the, you know, right up there with the cream of the crop after 10 years of working there? You know, it's you don't really see it. People just settle into that rut, don't they? And they're okay with just plodding along and taking the money and all that. And Ben Davies, because of the atmosphere around and the mentality of it around that Andrew's put in, he's absolutely loving it and therefore plays better. And it goes back, I think, boils down to when you're a kid. You know, how do you become good at football when you're a kid? You enjoy it. The more you enjoy what you're doing, the better you become at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're all enjoying what they're doing, and because of that extreme, you know, when it goes wrong, it goes to the other end of the spectrum in terms of the extreme and stuff. So I think that's the only reason for it anyway.
Yeah.
I think there's a persecution complex going on as well with referees and the other opponents as well, because the opponents know how to get us riled up. You know, they just a few kicks here and a few pushes there, and then the referee doesn't give them or doesn't see them, and then think, well, hang on a minute, they're against us again. You know, it's that kind of woe is me thing, you know, and then they start kicking back, you know, and doing stupid things, and that's where we end up, you know, in my opinion.
Well, sorry.
That second penalty, though, I'm not sure he really touches him, really. I think it's a bit of a dive.
Yeah, it was a dive, but he did touch him.
I think clipped him, yeah.
Yeah. But obviously the attackers now make the most of it, because if you're watching a foul in slow motion, often it can look an awful lot worse than it does in normal time.
Yeah.
And this is where VAR is, another one of VAR's faults. I don't have any confidence that they'll make it any better. I still think that there'll be teams who will get an awful lot of decisions because of the crowd, because of the manager giving it in the press. I'm not going to mention any names. Liverpool. And it's until they get people who are better at their job and who are not influenced, then it's not going to get any better. But Kev, going back to what you were saying about the kicking, etc., and us not getting a decision, the dunk foul, got the ball, went over the top of it, and caught. Who was it? Was it Son?
Yeah.
Was it Sonny?
I'm not sure.
It was Decky, wasn't it? I think it was Decky.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah. It was Kulusevski. But isn't that exactly the same as what Romero did against Chelsea?
Yeah.
Up there in the penalty area. There's just, again, there's no consistency from these blokes who sit in their nice air-conditioned, heated office and say, "Oh yeah, well, I'm not sure about that. Can I have another sausage roll, please?" And you know, just and then won't take any responsibility for it. It's just, I know that all clubs will have issues where they say, well, this happened before and that happened before. But throughout my whole working life, I've worked in a lot of places where we have policies and procedures, and you follow those policies and procedures. Now, football is obviously a little bit different. Working in hotels was a little bit different as well. You had to go outside them sometimes. But if you see a tackle like that or a foul like that, then I'm sorry, that should be written down. He's got the ball, but he's gone over the top and he's got his leg. If you send one bloke off, you can't not send the other guy off.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's and that's what it's been the whole season. It's inconsistencies. You look at, I think it's Wolves that have been the most hard done by in terms of refereeing decision. And something's got to change. You know, when they released that audio of the VAR room, it's just a farce. It's like it was like an old comedy farce from the 1930s. And like, surely if you're the PGMOL and you look at that, or even the FA, and you look at you hear that conversation. I don't know if you guys listen to it, but you hear that and you think, oh my God, we need to scrap this because clearly nobody knows what they're doing. We're scrapping this till we know what the fuck we're doing. Like, and what all it needs is better trained referees and assistant referees. Because I get the fact that, and it's always been the case, isn't it, that referees can sometimes not see things because there's obviously players in the way and what have you. Or they're too fat and they can't keep up with the play or whatever. But that's what the assistant referees are for. That's what they're there for. They're not there just to say, you know, oh, that came in with him last, it's a throw that way. They're not there just for that. You know, for a long time now, they've been there to say, actually, that's a free kick. You know, and so they just need better training. They need to be better referees and better assistant referees. Yeah. That's all it needs. Yeah. It doesn't need
the variance is terrible. You mean, you look like that Odeberg, whatever his name is, you know, Odegaard. Handball the other week. He tackled that bloody ball and it went to VAR and I said, no, he was in such a position, he wasn't, you know, abysmal. It was a total handball, but VAR and wherever they are, and the back streets or whatever, they tested it was fine. It wasn't fine. It was a bloody handball, you know.
Yeah. When you eliminate everything else, like all that remains is the fact that the referees are just not good enough. They're just not good enough. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I also think that now the referees think, well, oh God, I'm not making that decision. We'll send it to the boys at Stockley Park. Yeah. And they don't have the confidence that I think some had overconfidence last time. Before Clattenburg, what was that other? Andre Mariner. They thought they were the best thing since sliced bread, didn't they?
Yeah.
But the guys these days, and as Simon was saying, with the assistant referees, they seem to wait until the referees made a decision before they put the flag up.
You look at got injured, didn't he? Was it Kieran Trippier or something? Got injured because he was chasing down this player who was clearly offside, but because the assistant referee didn't flag for it and waited for the referee, he chased him down and he got injured. Defender.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean now. Yeah,
and so now that's cost the club. It's cost the club. You know, it's cost results, which in turn, you know, it's a very direct link to costing millions and millions of pounds at the end of the season.
Yeah,
and it's bizarre. It's just fucking bizarre. You wouldn't get it in any other line of work where something that costs you millions of pounds a year is not eliminated or corrected or improved. Because the referees are just, there's so much emphasis now on like, oh, you got to respect the referee and all that kind of stuff, which is fine from the point of view of stopping them, you know, getting, you know, attacked and what have you. But they need to be picked up when they're making mistakes. Simple as that. You know, same as everybody else. You know, if you know, look at
Jared Gillett at the end of the week. He's a Kiwi, and he comes from New Zealand. He's apparently a Liverpool supporter. It's well known that he's a Liverpool supporter. So he went to university there. He come over a sponsorship deal for university, and he stayed with that Henry Moore's Foundation or whatever it is, one of the Littlewoods, you know, Paul's peoples. Right. And he had something to do with them. And he stayed in Liverpool a long time and he became a Liverpool supporter. So he's still a Liverpool supporter. So apparently now he can't do Liverpool games. Well, I don't know. I mean, they've all got their favourites and all that, you know. And sometimes it comes into place, you know. And as I say, and his team are not the most vociferous ones. And they're not going to make comments afterwards because they've shut them down, you know. But you always get Klopp and the like that will say things. And ever since that game we played against them, they've had favourable decisions every week. You know, it's noticeable. Their form was wishy-washy up until then, and they lost that day. But since then, they've turned it all around, and they're playing great now because they're getting a lot of decisions their way. They don't get all of them, but they're on a roll. Yeah, we're not. We're just paddling around. Well, we're still in touch with the leaders, but we should be 4 or 5 points in front of everybody else, really and truly. And I can't fathom it.
No, it's it's not a good place to be. Okay, so the last 10 minutes weren't bad.
Yeah, but I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Too late.
It was 3. I think we might have really gone for it, but 4 was just that bridge too far.
Yeah, it was. It was lovely to see Vélez score his first goal.
Yeah.
That was a bit like a kid in a playground scoring their first goal as well, wasn't it? He was well chuffed, and I was well chuffed for him. I think
he put down a marker now,
Sorry,
he put down a marker now, hasn't he? He made well, I can score goals. You know, I'm not a sold out or anything like that. He put me on for a few minutes and I've scored a goal. What more do you want? I'm there, available and willing every week. You know.
Yes.
Could be a catalyst, couldn't it? For,
we've got another striker coming back from a loan deal. Dane Scarlett's come back from Ipswich.
All right, yeah.
It seems at the start of the season like a great loan on paper, but the Ipswich strikers who are currently there have had an absolute blinder. And are they still second or third in the league?
I was going to say, I feel sorry for Ipswich. Really, they're taking one of their players away at this time because they're absolutely flying right up there with Leicester, and it's a good old ding dong battle going on there. So, but I don't know. I don't know if obviously we've got a good relationship with Leicester. I didn't know it was that good that we'll take some of their main opponents' players away from them.
But he wasn't getting much game time. He'd come on here, there. I think he played in a cup game, and it's either it's a choice. You either let him sit on the bench at Ipswich, or he comes back here. Now he can't go out on loan again because he's played for 2 clubs in one season. So he's going to be either on the bench or playing for the under-21s again.
Yeah,
which
you got the FA Cup coming up, haven't you? Well, so.
Yeah, but that's against the Premier League team. If we were playing against one of the smaller teams,
I want to see a strong team, that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I'd like to see us go for that, and obviously we know that Simon thinks that that's the best competition, and so we want to have a strong run out. But I'm not sure that he will now because of all of the injuries. Because obviously Baldy is in his ear every day saying we need to get Champions League, we need to get Champions League. Forget about everything else. So I have a feeling he may play a weekend side. Is that a home or away? That's home, isn't it?
Home, yeah, home. Yeah. Friday night.
8 o'clock on a Friday night. Those Burnley fans must feel very, very lucky.
It's a horrible journey up to there.
Oh. Can you imagine the journey back as well?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Have they got extra time lumping on that, or is it just a straight, I don't know, penalties? I don't know what they do these days. No replay.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know what they do in the FA Cup anymore.
There's no replays, I don't think.
No.
I'm not sure.
No, unfortunately, they got rid of those ages ago, which, yeah. Okay, so Richie hitting the post.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of unlucky. I'd like to talk about him doing his impression of Jermaine Defoe. Do we think it's his fault, or do we think it's the pass?
Yes.
Don't you think it's the players aren't releasing it early enough?
No. Because if like that one where he was slap bang in the middle, and I think it's Cooley's putting it through to him. It doesn't matter because it's like a diagonal ball. It doesn't matter when you're going to put it through. You know, he can only put it through when he can put it through, and he's already offside. You know, by that arm, that shoulder, and the leg. Yeah. And it's 4 or 5 times throughout the game. 3 in the first half. He'd been caught offside, and just it's so frustrated about him. When I was criticising him weeks ago before he started banging a couple in. Yeah. And he's back
3 or 4 offsides last season as well when he came on as subs and things like that.
Yeah.
Goals. Yeah.
And you expect it when he's coming on a sub because he's not got up to the speed. The first couple you forgive because obviously they're not up to speed because they're coming on a sub. He started. I mean, come on, man. It's the basics of what you do. You know? It's going back to being a waste of money. And I just fear that this whole kind of like things with that, because I'm hoping this is like a one-off, because obviously he's been on a good run. He's scored half a dozen in his many games or something recently, and I'm just hoping it's just a glitch. Same for everybody that played that Brighton game. It's just a glitch, and it's just this symptom of how, like I said earlier, symptom of how we play, and we should be back on it. But somebody should be. I hope we've got somebody like in American football where they've got a coach for almost every single position. You know, quarterback, tight ends and coach and what have you. And I hope somebody's getting hold of him and saying, right, so this is offside, right? When the player goes in front of the, you know what I mean? Just like, come on, man. The basics of what you do. Because if he doesn't get caught offside, we win the game. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I just wish we could tape up the commentators' gob sometimes, because you think back to the Everton game last week, and Spurs haven't let in one goal from a corner this season. I mean, we're going to run in now, like, fuck off, because you predicted it, like, you know. It's like,
shut your mouth, you dick.
It happens every bloody time, you know.
And you always get the co-commentator joking about it. Oh, what have you said there?
No.
I think I probably know the answer to this next question, but man of the match for us?
Vicario.
Yeah.
Without doubt.
Yeah, Vicario all the way. He's had a good season, hasn't he, really? He's made some outstanding saves. We're very lucky to have him. Thank God we went for him and not Raya in the end.
As a newbie as well, he's done outstanding.
The mental and the physical qualities that he has, he just doesn't seem fazed by anything, does he?
No.
I mean, how old is the guy? 23, 24?
I'm not sure, maybe.
Yeah, about
26, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Okay, but let me have a look. Seriously.
Like he's even got the luck, isn't he? He even positions himself so even when he doesn't know anything about the saves he's making, he makes them. You know, like the one that Danjuma whacked off the corner of the bar. It came down onto his thigh and out, on Vicaria's thigh and out. It's brilliant. Like he's even got that kind of luck with him.
Yeah, he's 27.
27.
Yeah, so
he's a presence on the pitch though as well. You know, he's vociferous. You know, he's shouting all the time, screaming, organising.
Yeah,
well, trying.
You need something like that.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Hugo was a little bit like that, but I don't think quite as passionate.
Yeah.
No, he was very quick to. I mean, obviously with the documentary and everything, we saw him and Sonny getting into it and stuff, and it's clearly like unhappy for the last season that he was there. The good thing is with Vicario, he celebrates, like I said earlier, he celebrates like he scored the goal himself. He does a bit of shithousery as well, of course, against what's his name at the end of the game. What's that? Oh, it's just sticking his tongue out at him, wound him up enough into coming up and that.
Callum Wilson, wasn't it? Callum Wilson,
yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. No respect, but it's okay that me and Mikel Antonio go on my podcast and slag off Richarlison because that's really respectful. Because but I'm so thick, I don't even know what the word means, innit?
But I love that. I mean, and it's why I love Pedro Porro so much as well, because he's like Vicario times 10.
They're infectious, aren't they? They raise the game. They try to raise the game all around them. The fans, they're
so important.
Yeah.
Right, guys, what do we want to do now? Do we want to talk about Bournemouth? Do we want to talk about transfers? Or do we want to talk about 2023? I am happy to go anyway.
Let's do Bournemouth last because it's just a couple of hours away, isn't it? So,
so let's have a look.
Let's get transfers out of the way because I hate gossip and shit like that. And it just it seems like a whole waste of time to me because 99.3% of the time it's not coming off anyway.
It's bollocks, yeah. So some of the new ones that I've heard this week, a guy called Arthur Vermeeren, who plays defensive midfielder or central midfielder for Royal Antwerp. So I would have thought if we're still on good relations with Alderweireld, that he's probably feeding us information about this guy.
Yeah, happens.
I heard that he played. He completely and utterly controlled Juventus's central midfield in a recent Champions League game. I think it was Juventus. And what do we have being said about him? Just a moment, guys. Yeah, we're one of 14 clubs looking at him.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Chelsea, Munich, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, and Barcelona. Apparently, we've leapt to the front of the queue as they fancy a deal similar to the one which brought Udogie to North London. Spurs paid a large part of 18 million up front and then loaned him back. So that ain't really going to help much, is it?
No. Not firefighting, is it, really? It's like on the long arm. Yeah.
One of the surprise ones that I heard today was Joe Gomez. I don't think that Liverpool let him go, will they? I know he's injury prone.
So.
But
yeah,
he's apparently in the mix. It's the male. Sorry.
Yeah.
Next.
What about? I've heard about Dragusin.
Yes.
21-year-old Romanian, is it?
Yes. Yeah. Plays for Genoa. We mentioned him a couple of weeks ago. I don't like to repeat on here, but there's a great picture of him, Bentancur, and Kulusevski when they were all at Juventus together. And I think Bentancur and Kulusevski were, probably 18, 19. And so he must have been like about 15. And he's the same size as them. So he's a big chap.
He's a big lamp.
You said you'd seen some footage of him, Kev, didn't you?
Yeah. Funny enough, he scored. I've seen him score in that clip, a YouTube clip. I saw quite a few smashed headers, and he got one the other night, 2 nights ago. Can't remember who they were playing, but he smashed a header in, and he was probably one of the better players in the whole team as well. I can't remember who they were playing, but I read about it, but I didn't actually see the clip. He was very, very good. He's a bit of a. He's got the Ibra touch about him. I know it's the ponytail thing, but it's the physique, the actual frame, and the strength. He's not carrying extra weight or anything, but he's a big lump. He really is.
They were playing Inter.
Yeah.
He scored, bloody hell, 7 minutes into injury time in the first half. So that's bloody hell. Shelf side Spurs showed up. That's a memory. You're right, John. How are you? I was watching the Liverpool versus Chelsea game with a Liverpool fan, and he said Joe Gomez is there. Eric Dyer always making mistakes and getting caught out. Sign him up.
You need another one of them, yeah.
Should we just do a swap? Just some shits and giggles.
No, Dyer would never go there. His old man's an Everton fan, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Got that, yeah.
But nice to see you, John. Happy New Year if I don't speak to you. And hope to see you on some shows next year.
Yeah.
Right. So what's next? Another new one that I hadn't heard before. Edison, Atalanta.
Yeah.
He plays defensive midfielder, central midfielder, attacking midfielder.
Big, strong, 6-footer.
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need him, do we? Don't really need him.
Well, I think if Højbjerg goes, because what they're saying is we apparently have we have good relations with Juventus, and they're interested in taking Højbjerg, and we also apparently have good relations with Atalanta, so maybe we could take this guy off their hands. I don't think he's really torn up many trees. I haven't seen him play. I can't say I've heard of him before, and he's 24 years old. So, yeah, I wouldn't say too old, but it's always nice to.
We're not going to say no, are we? I mean, like it's
Yeah, it's one of those that you never know. You can be lucky or you can be unlucky, and so far we seem to have had mainly hits.
Yeah.
With Postecoglou, but.
Yeah, it can be. We've been. It's kind of weird. Like you look back at Paratici, as bad as obviously don't condone obviously the illegal things he's done. He did bring in as a couple of decent players, and Langer's got a good reputation as well for bringing in decent players. So we might have finally, after 20 years, we might actually have a good run of good scouting and a good conveyor belt, as it were.
Well, looking on my football app that I use, he's got an average rating of 7.46 for 18 matches, which is pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
So 4 goals, 1 assist. It's always handy to have someone scoring from midfield. So yeah, I'm now an expert on him. So I say sign him. We're talking on the outs. As I mentioned earlier, Højbjerg to Juve. I would be very happy for someone to drive him or charter a plane to take him there, because he hasn't been good for us for about a season and a half, 2 seasons.
He's lost his way,
The odd decent performance.
Yeah, I was going to say he has his moments.
But he can't play, and I don't think he can play consistently in this formation.
I heard something about Atletico Madrid at one time, but that's a few months back.
That was during the summer, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah.
I seem to remember they were interested in him during the summer, but I think with a lot of the Spanish teams, also with the Italian teams, they all want a loan and then an option to buy. So that means they can have him for 6 months and then can't afford him, send him back.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be a loan with an obligation to buy.
Yeah.
Then I'd be happy with that. Oh, John's piping up. What's Højbjerg's rating on that app? Let me have a look. Hello? There we go. Computer says no, John. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves, guys.
Yeah, Højbjerg's still. I think he's still capable of, because I seem to remember him putting a few decent balls through to Sonny and stuff. But he seems to that's when he's playing in like the last third. And that anywhere apart from that last third, he's
I hate to say it, John, but out of 18 matches that he's played this season, he's on a 6.64.
Oh,
that's generous.
He's obviously been slipping the app creator a few quid. So,
might do where we need to, slower pace of the game. Yeah.
Hasn't exactly looked great, but yeah. And I'm also sorry.
I've not heard that Richie to Saudi one. No, I've not heard.
Oh, really? There was something the other day. I don't know which team it is. I try not to pay attention to that.
Al something or other.
I believe, Al something,
because they're all Al something.
Al will cut your hand off if you have a pint of beer. But someone was mentioning 50 million up front.
Grab.
I'd snap their hands off for that. I know we paid 60, but we're probably still. That's probably including add-ons and stuff like that.
Yeah. Since we get somebody in to replace him, then absolutely, because
that's the problem, isn't it?
He's even with the goals he scored recently, he's still playing catch up. He's put a lot of minor stuff in the bank, and he's got a lot of work to do to balance that out. Still, and with the Brighton performance as well, I'm just like I'm not sure why we would ever. I'm not sure why we keep playing him if that's what he's going to be like. Inconsistency seems to be, he played well, he did what he's supposed to do up until the Brighton game, and then reverted back to being just a nightmare for us.
Yeah.
And you just think, blimey, literally anybody else in that position, when he has a bad game, anybody else in that position, you think they're going to tuck those goals away. Even the ones he scored, what was it? Was it where he I think his second one where against Newcastle, where he bowled it up and nearly lost it and side-footed it in. And it's just like the basics. He doesn't seem to be able to do the basics. And I didn't watch any of the Qatar World Cup, but apparently he scored a blinding goal there. And I'm like, well, why can you do that for your country, but you can't do the basics right for your club? It's bizarre. Don't know what's going on.
You could also say that there's probably quite a gulf in talent in our team and the Brazilian team. So yeah, he will get better service playing for the Brazilians, but still, you earn that much money. And okay, I don't know if it's an excuse, but the injury last year, or maybe for 2 years that he's been carrying, and he's had an operation, and now we saw what he can do. But again, it's just blowing hot and cold. It's the same. It's the same with all strikers, but it just seems him and Son do tend to have really bad patches, don't they? I seem to remember Harry Kane never used to score in August, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was only 2 or 3 games. You've got to expect that with football players. They're going to have good periods and they're going to have bad periods.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure that Richie's good periods will outweigh his bad periods. So,
well, that's what I keep hoping. That's what I keep hoping, because even if you look at the goals that Richie scored, Son's literally put them on a plate for him, 3 yards outside in front of the goal, and all he has to do is tuck them away. And anybody else, unless he gets that service from Son where it's along the ground and he can tap it in, you look at all the others. Like he finally scored that header from Kulu, that from a cross, which was probably the best cross you'll see in the Premier League this season, and he scored it. But then he gets those kind of crosses almost every single time, and he misses. He's missed a lot more than he's scored, and like I say, that's that balance he needs. He's got a lot of scoring to do to make up for that. So I wouldn't. If he went, I'd forget his name 5 minutes after he'd be on the plane, to be honest.
While you were talking about Saudi, I heard a few stories about Jota. Yeah, coming possibly on a free.
Yeah,
from Saudi. Not the Liverpool Jota, the other one, the Portuguese guy.
He was the one who played at Celtic for Ange, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But there was a story that he signed for them, and then all of a sudden he wasn't registered. So I'm beginning to wonder if maybe there's an attitude problem there. He was there. I think he's their highest earner, and they didn't register him. So maybe there's a problem in the background. I don't know. Maybe he wants to drink too much. What is it? Vino Tinto. They don't like that over in Saudi, do they? But that there's talk about him being released from his contract. It does ring a few alarm bells for me.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be bothered by the weather, is he? Because if he's played in Glasgow for a couple of seasons, then it'd be good as gold.
Yeah.
And anybody coming from Saudi or going to Saudi, for me, and playing in that league, I've got no respect for whatsoever. Anybody that goes to there, they immediately show their true colours, and it's obviously about money. And I've got
okay.
Yeah. I mean, when Richie's played on the left, you're right. John is been really good. Passes a lot better, moves a lot quicker, makes space for himself, and of course can't get caught offside. So much better.
If you want to come on, John, here's the link.
I think if Richie doesn't go to Saudi, if that's true, I think if Richie doesn't go, I'll have a bit more respect for him.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I
think
seem to remember
retaliation as well. Beg your pardon. I think Richie likes a bit of retaliation as well. He likes kicking back at people. If he feels they've been pushing him too hard or something, he tends to put his arms out or his feet out.
I seem to remember that everybody was saying, "Oh yeah, well, Richie should be playing as a centre forward, and he's playing out on the left, he's playing out on the right. That's not his natural position." And now he's playing in his natural position, supposedly. But if Angie's talking up there say that he should play on the left, that doesn't look great for the guy, does it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what John
John said. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's the same with Dyer. You know, he's asked Big Ange was asked about why didn't he play Dyer at the Brighton game? And Ange was just like, well, you know, he hasn't played much football. And it's like, well, okay, so I mean, it's basically in the same camp as us in terms of Dyer.
I watched the Titanic over Christmas, and I was like, I can't face that again. Okay, moving swiftly on from those terrible jokes. Spurs versus Bournemouth. This is going to be a tough one. Predicted lineup: Cario, Porro, Royal, Davis, Udogie, Sarr, Skip, Johnson, Kulu, Son, and Richard.
Kulu's suspended.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. Oh bloody hell!
Yeah.
Who's going to play then?
Well,
who?
Well, maybe Valise. Maybe Valise. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Brian Hill and Lascelles. So more Brian Hill, I think, just because he's a bit quicker and lower center of gravity and moves better, passes better. And you know, Brian Hill's already in his limited time this season has already been involved in goals. You know, it's been superb the time he's been on. So I'm looking forward to him and Lascelles getting in. Skip is probably 50-50 whether he's going to play or not, isn't he? In terms of
I thought it was only a minor.
Knock. Yeah, it's a knock, but so it's still 50-50. So might come on as sub, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what do we think at the back there? I mean, he can't stick with what from the last game, can he? Can't have the same kind of formation and everything, can he? Yeah, I was just thinking that he doesn't seem to. I don't think he doesn't trust the youngsters. He doesn't trust the players in front of the youngsters. Maybe if Skippy and Sarr are there, that might be a little bit more solid because Skip does like a run forward and so does Sarr, but I think they're more positionally aware than Højbjerg is. So, but he may play Lo Celso, but Lo Celso to me is that then means that Sarr has to sit back because Lo Celso is always going to dribble forward. Yeah, well, I mean, Sarr's all right with that. I mean, he's almost like the old-fashioned sweeper now, isn't he? He's like all over the place. He's been quite happy with that. I think. I'm not sure it's a case of not trusting. That's probably a good call. Because otherwise it's who's going to play in the middle there? Johnson, Gill, or Son? No, it'll be Lo Celso. Yeah. Sorry about that. I was in a bit of a hurry this morning. I thought I prepared everything a couple of days ago, and then I opened up the laptop at about 11:15 my time, and it was like, oh, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. Shit. That's right. It's I think it's not a case of not trusting the youngsters. It's a case of not wanting to risk them again because of being young lads, but it's too much of a risk. So, but I think when you're in the situation that we're in, that risk becomes one you have to take anyway because you've got no choice. So I think we'll see. I think we'll see a couple of the youngsters in. Yeah, at least one. I think. Well,
you got Johnson in there, and I think he's a bit of an enigma at the moment because he should be scoring goals. He's had a couple of one-on-ones this season, and he ain't netted them. You know, it's some sort of confidence thing or something. I don't know. I know he's young, and he's getting up to speed, shall we say, with the Spurs team as opposed to Forest. But it just seems a bit bodily, like, you know, he's a bit nervous and, you know. It's a decision-making thing, isn't it? Like he's clearly got talent. He's clearly got talent, and as we've seen, almost from right at the beginning of the season, linking up with Son and what have you, in different positions and what have you. And it's clearly something there, and it's just those decisions that he makes at the last minute that have been off. So, I mean, that's a learning curve. It's going to be a steep learning curve for him. Which I think last week, I think we're talking about him. I think, you know, this time next season, I think he's going to be a phenomenal player because he'd have learned about those kind of things that you're on about, like those decisions. Yeah. I'm surprised at the amount of hate that he's getting at the moment. I didn't think he was that bad. I'm seeing all over Twitter with some of the people who do the podcasts and
YouTube cast or whatever you call it, saying, "Oh yeah, he's the worst right winger we've had since." And it's like, come on, guys, we've had him for 6 months. He's 22 years old. I know that there's impatience, but seriously, why do we always have to find a scapegoat?
Yeah, and I've not got X or Twitter.
And I fucking hate Højbjerg. He should fuck off. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not got that. I've only got the only social media presence I've got is Facebook, thankfully. So I don't see any of that, and it's all bullshit anyway. It's all exaggerated bullshit, and it's not really what
raving lunatics.
Overwhelming majority of fans are just. Yeah,
I thought that's what we work in.
Yeah, raving lunatics. Yeah, no, must be. So,
yeah. Anyway, so just one moment. Sorry.
Yeah, I think everybody. Well, I think if he plays more or less the same lineup, obviously give or take a few forced changes, I think it will be because he's had a right bollocking with them and told them to up their game. And I think they will. And again, yeah, I know I'm the resident optimist and everything. I think if it's the same as that, then they'll be playing the game of their lives like individually, and that'll come through as a team. So
they turned us over last year, didn't they? 3-2 was it in the last minute or something? Yeah, at the lane, at the new lane. Yeah.
And I think if Skip does play, I think it's his chance to shine as well. I'm gonna go 3-1 to us.
Oh, I was going to say 3-1.
Yeah. You can say 3-1.
I'll raise you one. I'll say 4-1 then.
Yeah. I'm not quite as confident. We obviously are at home, so I think that will help.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go 2-1 us with Sonny and Vicario scoring one from the halfway line.
Oh, I really hope so. That would be amazing. Hey, look, I've infected you both. I've infected both in my optimism. We've turned these predictions around from getting hammered 4-0 to bloody winning 2-1.
We got Simon Hooper on our side today as well. Don't forget the referee. So you done the Liverpool game, didn't you? I think.
Oh, did he? Okay, well, nice.
Yeah. So,
on our side, I love that. Yeah. Okay, then. Right, so I thought I'd do a summary of 2023. Now, I don't know if I made myself clear enough, but it is actually 2023. It's not just this season.
Yeah,
so
season and a half.
It's the whole year.
Yeah.
So, what was your highlight of 2023? Kev?
I put down the Liverpool game 2-1. That was my highlight of the whole everything, because it had everything in it. You know, a couple of sendings off. It was ranting and raving for 3 or 4 weeks afterwards, and there's me just laughing at it all. Like, thank you very much, goodbye. You know, yeah, it was a total brilliance. Like, you know, seeing Klopp and that, and you know,
oh yeah,
the after events was tremendous. You know, it really was. Yeah,
but yeah, unfortunately, I think the aftershock of it is that an awful lot of teams are getting
under the microscope
dodgy decisions against Liverpool.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
In the end, I think played into Klopp's hands, didn't he?
Yeah. It was like the old Fergie days, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We're not having that referee doing us anymore, or we're not having this, and you know.
Yeah. 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 And it just it subconsciously gets into the back of the officials' minds, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They probably don't even realise they're doing it, and it's. Yeah, he should have been a psychologist or a psychiatrist, old Jurgen. Yeah, he would have had me feeling great about my hair loss. So.
Yeah, yeah, that's male pattern baldness anyway. It's like me. I can't do nothing about it, because when I was old enough to see my old man and what he had a Bobby Charlton.
My word!
I've seen this, but yeah, that's a man of the 70s, you know.
I've seen Nesbitt. See you, Jeanette.
Used Harmony hairspray to hold it down, you know. Like,
oh, really? Oh, bloody hell.
bless him. Been gone 5 years now, but
Oh,
Dad, why didn't you just cut the bastard thing off? You know, he's waving about like a bit of Weetabix, you know.
Yeah. My dad always used to cut his very short. He was at the sides, he'd leave it, but on the top, whatever there was, it would go. So yeah. But Simon, highlight 2023.
Yeah, I've gone for the 2-2 draw with the Arse at their place. Purely because let's not forget the circumstances of that. You know, Arsenal coming into this, it's obviously at their place at home. They think they're the best team in the league, even though they bottled it, you know, end of the last season. And they think they're just going to, and even some Spurs fans were saying, well, this is going to be like 3-0 if we're lucky, you know, against us and all that. And you know what? It was a turning point for me. It's the first time I really started to believe in Big Ange and what he was doing and everything, because the belief and everything was so different. Well, on my laptop, I've got a great photo of Maddison jumping up in the air, going like that, as we scored the second one, and the background is all the fans. And every day I look at it, and it's just the sheer joy of the fans, looking at the fans in those faces. And I know it's only a joy, it's not a win, but it was a bloody win, wasn't it? Because
sometimes them draws are just as good as a win, you know.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at Arsenal's goals, one was a penalty, which, you know, okay, yeah, technically it was Romero's handball, but there's nothing he could have done about it. It wouldn't have been given today, that penalty, by the way, because you know, I've looked at the ones, I looked at ones this past couple of weeks where it has hit their hand, but because they haven't known anyone, it's been blasted out and 1 yard away, they can't do anything about it. It hasn't been given. And it's the same thing, yeah, with Romero. And obviously the first one as well, we just cannoned off Romero's thigh into the goal, so they didn't even score that. So we basically won that game, and they just got humiliated by us. And for me, that is, I don't think you can ask for more than that. Humiliating,
not better than that. No.
And when you look at like just the atmosphere and the circumstances around that, we all this kind of like, oh, we know we're shit, and you know this is going to be a tough season and all this kind of stuff. And then just to put off a result like that, I was just absolutely buzzing. And again, it was the start of the belief in Big Ange and things like that. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to go for Postecoglou. He has been my highlight of 2023. The Conte debacle. It really it really made me a bit downhearted with Conte and Mourinho, who were, this club should be lucky to have me. I'm things since sliced bread, and it's like, well, no, not really, guys. And Postecoglou came in, and he's managed a big club before. I don't care what people say. Celtic are a massive club supported by millions around the world. Obviously the league is not really that competitive. I was hearing the other day that Celtic and Rangers have a budget of around about a championship team, and the rest of them are middle of League One. Yeah, which I think is a real shame, because I've always enjoyed Scottish footballers playing for Tottenham. Richard Gough, Gordon Jury, Alan Hutton. I know he's a complete nutter, but I kind of enjoyed that. And I'm sure Bill Brown obviously wasn't around when he was playing, but we've always had a Scottish connection. And I think it's quite kind of sad. Someone said about 10 years ago, well, you know, the weather in Scotland's really cold. Kids prefer to stay in watching, playing on their Xbox rather than going out and playing football. I don't know if that's an issue. They seem to have some good players coming through now. Yeah. But he seemed really grateful. Sorry, I went off on a complete tangent. He seemed really grateful to be able to ply his trade in the Premiership, and is positive, and he doesn't moan a lot, which I do. But we don't want a manager who's always saying, yeah, sometimes you do need it, okay. But managers like Conte and Mourinho, it's always someone else's fault.
Yeah, I don't know about you, James, but after Mourinho and then Conte, I don't know if you the same, but before Postecoglou came, and there was that quite a long period, wasn't there? It was like massive debates about, or a mass debate even about whether I'm trying to time that so you spit it out. Right, it's a mass debate. It's a lot of people debating. I don't know where your filthy minds are going, but I'm on about a mass debate. Dirty. There was a long period about who it would be. I don't know about you, but my fear was that we're going to be stuck in this cycle of the Mourinho, similar to Mourinho, similar to Conte, and the next one is just going to be the same. Like a marquee kind of name that doesn't do any good and all this kind of stuff. I thought we were going to be in almost like a living hell of
Yeah.
So
No.
Yeah.
Jens, I have to say I had that down as my second choice. Appointing Ange was my second choice.
Yeah. Well, I thought that it was. I think it was a bit of a masterstroke, and I don't like to give an awful lot of credit to Levy, but I think that was clever from him.
Shut up! It was an accident. He didn't even know what he was doing.
No, but you have to say that he also he also did something similar with Pochettino, and then he thought, "I'm Billy Big Bollocks. I've got we got to the Champions League final. I'll get Mourinho, who I've been after for the last 10, 15 years, and to show what a big man I am." And it didn't really work, did it? And then Conte, two of the most boring managers I've ever seen. And I mean, AVB wasn't exciting, but those guys, their football was fucking useless. Anyway, John,
good
highlight 2023. Kane becoming our all-time top goal scorer. I was lucky enough to see most, if not all, of his goals. Nice one, John.
It really did feel like, I don't know about you guys, it really did feel like, the build up to that, and just watching Kane in January, it felt like, my God, this is what it would be like to watch Pele at his peak. I feel like I'm really watching kind of like history. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And obviously, literally history being made, but it was like, thank God I'm here to see this. I'm not like, born 20 years from now and missing it completely. You know what I mean? Just
what do you mean, born 20 years from now? 20 years, we'll be winning the Premier League every season.
One season would be nice.
Good, Bennett. You could have heard a pin drop there.
Imagine 20 years' time, Levy's still there going, we've got
that. Sack the tea lady. And John's second highlight, finally getting rid of Davinson Sanchez.
Dog. We've still got Dyer, though. We've still got Dyer.
Oh, Big Dave. I would have preferred Big Dave to Dyer, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, low point of 2023. Simon, you can go first, mate.
For me, it's the West Ham game, losing against West Ham at home, 2-1. I just think they're a bang average team at best, and we should have thrashed them, and I still don't know why we didn't. And just every single fucking time they play us, it's like their cup final. And it just winds me up, and I'm just sick of doing it. And I just want us, next time we play them, I want us to thrash them 7-0 just to get rid of this hoodoo that they've got over us. And just, it was just like when I was like, enough of this shit. I've been this is the same shit put up with like for the last 6 seasons or whatever. Average teams get a lucky break against us, and they pull off a result that they don't deserve, and just we should, and it's our own fault because we should be thrashing them out of sight by half time. And it's just, I was at my most pissed off on the West Ham game. I think
they've done the same thing to Arsenal a couple of weeks ago, didn't they? A week ago,
yeah,
was it?
A couple of days ago,
nearly 3-0.
But that's it should have been 3-0, shouldn't it? Yeah. But to be honest, our record against West Ham is not actually as bad as we think. I think we've won more than they have in the last 4 or 5 seasons. It's just that they always make such a big deal of it.
Yeah.
When they beat us. It's happened again. Do you remember that season when we had Tim Sherwood, I think it was? He played Sigurdsson or Chadley in central midfield, and we lost to them home, away, and in the League Cup. And it was all about it's happened again, and they got T-shirts printed. And it's like, guys, okay, I understand that you never play Millwall, but you're not our rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only the people who like a bit of knuckle who have a rivalry with West Ham and Chelsea. Our rivals are the Gooners. Always will be. Always has been.
Don't fucking flatter yourselves, you dicks.
So, yeah. Kev.
The Newcastle game. The Newcastle game.
Yeah, that's exactly the one that I was going to say. Yeah.
The end of Hugo, as we know it.
Yeah.
And everything else. It was abysmal. I was in the pub watching that one, and I was just so embarrassed. It's like, felt like getting up and walking out half time, but I thought, no, it's going to turn into a laugh eventually, and it did, you know. So.
I was just laughing, me. I was just.
Didn't you guys? I think you guys did a show that day without me because I came back from Devon and I was on the bus, and I'm like, okay, kicks off. So I got the beep, and then the next thing I know, I got a beep, and I'm like, 1-0 already. So 3 minutes in, and it just continuously went. And I think that someone actually got up and moved because they were sat next to me, and I was like, "Fuck's sake!" And that wasn't my finest moment. But John's lowlight of 2023: Baldy taking the 30 pieces of silver and depriving us of a year of Kane and Ange ball and the opportunity to persuade to stay. Yep. Mm. That's a very good one.
Never know.
We will never know.
Mm.
Do you think? I'm not sure how well Kane would have played in Postecoglou's tactics, though, because he always dropped. He towards the end of his tenure here, he always dropped quite deep into midfield, and I don't think Postecoglou would have liked that. But then again, I suppose if you've been told to, he was looking for the ball, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think he'd have scored a handful of goals this season if he was still here, but that's just maybe, you know. You can't. Yeah,
but he would only drop. Kane would only drop because he had to.
Yeah.
And Postecoglou, under Angel, he wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. He's breaking all records out there, but it's a dismal league, you know what I mean? It's like the Saudi league, you know. It's not real football, you know, like contentious football, playing a tough team every week or a reasonably tough team every week. You want half the teams to be competitive, and you want that rivalry, and you want all that, you know. And we get knocked over by we play well against the big teams, and we get knocked over by the little ones, you know. So you know, that's the annoying thing with me. It's always happened all through my first supporting life, you know.
Yeah. So Simon, just to say about that West Ham thing, we beat them 2-0 in February, drew 1-1 last August, beat them 3-1 last March. 2022. Beat them 2-1 December 2021. Lost to them twice. So it's not. We've got quite a good record against them.
I think it's what you were saying. The fact that they just go on and on about it.
Yep.
Okay then. Player of the year. Simon, you can go first, mate.
Pedro Porro. Look at this guy, right? He's a perfect Spurs player. To me, it's just perfect. He's so passionate and wants to win 100% of the time, 100% of each minute. He's going for the wall, and he's lightning quick, and he's skillful, and he showboats.
He's a showman, yeah. He is, yeah.
And you know, have you ever seen him? Because he's been taking the free kicks recently. You've seen his face when he's waiting to take the free kick. It's just like his eyes are just so intense. He cannot see anything except the ball and the goal, ball and the goal, ball. He's got that look that he's saying to himself, "This is fucking going in. This is fucking going in."
But that's the problem. He can only see the ball and the goal, and he doesn't see the players in the way. That's why he keeps hitting the wall.
And it hasn't gone in yet. But you know, one day
it's called kenosis, that is.
And and just like all over the pitch. Like what was it that game a few weeks ago now, where like he'd won the ball back. He's in the right kind of on the right back area. He won the ball back, and then the player came back, got pissed off, and fouled him. And as he got up, he looked towards the fans and he goes,
Newcastle, I think, wasn't it? Was that Newcastle?
Yeah. Just winning a free kick, and just like I love the guy. I love everything he's about. I love his attitude, and I love the way he plays. And he delivers a great ball into the box.
Hopefully he'll get better. Hopefully, he will.
He defends like he's like in the army fighting for Queen and country or something. I mean, it's absolutely bloody brilliant and massively important, as we mentioned, we touched on earlier about how players like that infect everybody else in the best possible way and just lift the whole team up. And we've got, obviously, we'll come on to it, but we've got another defender in there who's the opposite of that and has the opposite effect. So it's great that we finally got Pedro Porro, and God, I hope we keep him for like 50 years.
And he's only 24 as well. So as Kev said, I think he's only going to get better. So yeah, nice. What about you, Kev?
Sonny. He's there. He has his little odd patches where he can't do anything right for a few games. Then he comes back on song. You tear your hair out if you've got any, because you're watching him every week and he just does silly things and he can't get the ball crossed and he miscrosses. The ball spins away from him. He gets tackled, challenged. And then the next week he bounces back and he gets 2 goals and they're sublime goals. They're not just tap-ins or something like that. They're sublime goals and he just bangs them in and that. He's on a par with Kane for the goal scoring, the way he takes his goals, They're not normally, they're specials usually. They're not like, as you say, run out of the middle.
That's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing to do as well, isn't it? When you've had like a few off games, is to come back from that and score worldies like that.
Yeah,
that's really hard thing to do. Yeah, absolutely.
What was it's Levy's dream as well, Nick, for a commercial side of things as well.
Yes, yeah.
It's not my dream. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it looks to me.
Yeah,
that's my player of the year anyway. That's for sure.
Last season, that he had a real bad patch. And people were saying, oh, yeah, we need to sell him. And then he wasn't scoring any goals. And then he came on as a sub and scored a couple.
Yeah.
We actually have a special guest coming in all the way from Malaysia. Welcome, Eugene.
Hi, guys.
Eugene. You're in the car?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're in the car.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Just to hop on. Yeah, I'm driving. So I'm going out for my New Year's dinner now. Right, just to hop on to wish all you guys a Happy New Year. Of course, a Merry Christmas too. Yeah, right, so hope everything's Yeah.
You too, enjoy that dinner.
And no, because it's about going to be 8 p.m. here now, so I'm ahead of you guys about 8 hours. So and not having much confidence in the match today, right? After what I saw against Brighton, with the defense of you know who. So I've got a big deep fear in me that we're gonna get smacked at home today. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. That's my big fear. I didn't expect us to beat Brighton anyway, so so I would say we're gonna get smacked.
Kev's already predicted 7-0 Spurs, so
7-0 Spurs. I wish it was that too, right? So but I don't see that unless if some kind of freak accident happens, so we get they get 2 red cards or something like that. You never know. It might happen. Oh dear. But good to see you guys. Thanks for the invite. Hope you have a great show going on. Right, I've got to get back to my driving.
Okay, mate.
Guys, take care.
Yeah,
bye-bye. Happy New Year. And of course, leave you out. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Another little cameo.
Yeah,
well, he was driving. I thought he was parked up. Thank God he didn't crash. Fucking hell.
I know. I thought he was like that.
Bennett.
Yeah.
That's
so, were you finished, Kev? Are you finished talking about Sonny?
I'm finished talking about Sonny. You can't say no more. You just let him do his magic on the pitch today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to go for something. I don't know why. It just kind of popped into my head, and I'm going for Mickey van der Ven. I know he hasn't played the whole. See, he wasn't here at the end of last season. He wasn't. He played from the start of this season. But I just think that the guy's come in in his early 20s. Okay, again, he has played in a big league, but not. Yeah, as you said earlier, the Bundesliga is kind of just 2, maybe 3 teams, and he was playing for one of the other 17 or whatever. But he just came in and he was a breath of fresh air. The speed, the coolness was, I find that unbelievable for someone that age. But yeah, you do see that there's a lot of confident people in the Netherlands, let's just say. And he has that confidence about himself. And him and Romero were an absolutely brilliant partnership at the start of the season. And led us to being top and unbeaten, and then that fateful Chelsea match. Yeah. So I probably should have gone for Son like you, Kev, because obviously he's been here for the whole year. Yeah. Maybe even Saar, but no, I'm going to go for Mickey van der Ven, and I hope that he has many years in the future for us.
Next year we'll go for best newbie then.
Oh yeah, okay. So Nate Spurs, I think is that Nathan? Hello, mate. How are you? Long time no see. He's gone for Porro, same as Simon. I can definitely understand that.
Obviously, I'm very clever, intelligent person.
A connoisseur, yeah.
Nathan, yeah.
A connoisseur, yes. I'm not sure if we're all going to agree on this one, but I think we probably will. Waste of space of the year.
It's a paycheck.
I'm going to go first. And Don Bailey.
Snap.
Again.
Snap.
Sorry? Yeah.
Snap. Yeah. About that. £200 a week. 200 smackers a week.
Yeah. What? This guy can't even get in, or he's on the subs bench for Galatasaray. And I think it's the same as us. Everybody thinks, if you give him a chance, he can do this. He doesn't seem interested. I don't know if it's a confidence problem or if it's just I've made it. I'm going to sit here and eat some Big Macs and fuck the lot.
Yeah, I'm just going to take the money. Thank you very much, idiots.
Dyer, all the way. When we're talking about space, literally space on the bench that could be occupied. Somebody else's bum could be on that bench, and it could literally be anybody. Let's take a free transfer from the Northern Premier League. My local team, Stockton Town, we've got a really good central defender. Let's just have him on loan. Well, Stockton Town will loan him to Spurs to replace Eric Dyer. I don't understand why he's still here. I know we take our time to get rid of players that we should get rid of. You look at Hugo, which we'll come on to, but Hugo obviously has been saying since the summer he wants to go because he's recognised obviously he's on a downward slope. So he said himself he wants to go, and now he's only just going now. It's like half a fucking year to get rid of somebody who wants to go. God knows how long it's going to be before we get rid of someone who hasn't said they want to go and is sticking around. And every time I see his name either on a Spurs sheet or even if he comes on a sub, my heart just sinks through the floor because he is responsible for every time he comes on. He's responsible for every single goal, either directly or indirectly, because he's slower than Trump. He's like frigging
passing out.
I don't understand what he's doing here, and he's got no dignity now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Even he's fairly tall, and he still doesn't even win headers and stuff like that. He just stands there watching. Yeah, even his watching is slow.
With his arms behind his back. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Is Harry Maguire available for transfer this window?
God,
where is he playing now? Is he still at Man United?
Yeah.
Is he still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Man United is still losing, so I presume he's still there. Yeah.
Well, he hasn't. I haven't seen him play for a while now.
Well, he got player of the month or something, didn't he, a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago, and then
yeah. At the same time as Ten Hag got manager of
the month. Yeah. So it's a kiss of death, isn't it? Yeah, straight away.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Here's one from John. On the basis of my rantometer during game, my waste of space of the year is by far and away Emerson Royal. I don't understand how he's a professional footballer. Can't pass, can't head, can't cross.
Yeah.
No, I disagree with that. Like he's been involved quite a lot, even though he's not been starting most games and stuff. He's been involved in a lot of goals. He's not doing what he was doing last season, like getting himself right up, on that right wing, and then, fluffing up the ball at the last ball, delivering it in. He's not been doing that. He's been playing really well. He's playing it on the ground. I think he's fitted in well, not obviously at centre back, but I think he's doing much better than he was last season. I think he's done all right.
Yeah.
This team as a whole hasn't gelled though, has it, this season? Like since we had that run of being top and that, and it's just all falling apart, and all the bones are sticking out everywhere, and it's just not happening properly at all times. It's not a machine.
Yeah, okay. It's because of the injuries, though, isn't it? Because if we don't have the injuries to those key players, we're top by and clear by 10 points, aren't we? I think anyway. I know I'm the optimist, but I even mathematically, I think we probably would be well clear.
Be on about 45 points at least, minimum 45, 46, 47, 48. We've just blown it. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Favourite match?
Favourite match?
Who's
goal of the season?
I'll go first. Newcastle 4-1. Just because of the whole revenge thing, and really, again, further.
Did I not add that one, Kev, on the question?
Pardon?
Did I not add that one, Kev, on the question?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, okay.
I was going on to goals of the season next.
So I'll go next. So if you want to have a quick butchers at whatever.
Go on in, yeah.
Sorry, Simon, carry on.
Yeah, so I was splashing Newcastle 4-1, and it was just I honestly don't know about that, John. I'm not sure. It's such a great game, and again, I love revenge, so it's mainly about revenge for me for the 6-1.
They went a bit rockety after that. They've not been the same strength.
Yeah, exactly. We basically smashed it apart from them, and just because it had probably one of my favourite individual moments I've seen, to see when Song was going in from the left and going to the byline, and Kieran Trippier was trying to keep up with him, and just watching Kieran Trippier just do the whole backward thing and flailing over and then just ending up on his ass was just hilarious for me. Worth a watch back if you ever watch it. But I love that, and I'm like, that's what we should be doing. And the teams like Brighton that we're losing against, I have full confidence that the only reason you're beating us is because we've got massive injuries. I cannot wait until we get them back. For the reverse fixture, we will completely humiliate all the ones that are beating us, like we did for Newcastle. That's what.
Well, I think I'm going to go for.
Just going for a win.
Okay, yep. I'm going to go for us beating Chelsea 2-0 on my birthday, when Ollie Skip scored that absolute blinder, and then Harry Kane got the second. But I'm also going to go. So it's a bit of a tie here. I'm going to go for the Man City 3-3 game. Obviously, because that's a little bit fresher in the memory, and as you get older, you don't remember an awful lot. But again, our performances at the Etihad Stadium, they never. Every single game we go into, Man City going to spank them. Yeah, it's going to be an absolute riot. We we really dug in for that one, I thought. And Kulusevski's third goal, you don't often see him score a header, but he really wanted to win that, didn't he? You could see in his body language, he was like, there's no one's going to stop me for this. And I thought that was a real great team performance. I thought it was a brilliant performance from the manager as well. So I know it was only a draw, but that probably wins it over the Chelsea one, even though I fucking hate Chelsea. But
yeah. I was almost going to go for the Man City game as well, but because just because of that whole comedy thing of just like we've gone and done them again, you know. It's like, brilliant. Love it.
So Kev,
I've had a quick look through because you threw this one at me. I'm going for Tottenham Man U, but not this season. I'm going for 8 months ago, which was about April, something like that. I don't know when it was. We were 2-0 down, and we came back to 2-2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a...
Oh, yeah.
Saul got one of the goals, didn't he? I'm just looking at it now.
Yeah, no, Porro and Son. Yeah, it's Sancho, 7th minute, Rashford, 44th.
Yeah.
And,
really good goals as well.
Nice. Yeah. Well, it's always... A comeback is always nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if you can get a winner at the end. But
it's always good, but
Okay, from John, favourite game. I quite enjoyed the Goons away game after their overconfidence in the build-up and saying we get destroyed if we try playing handball at their place and play through them for fun. That is very, that's what you said earlier, Simon. Yeah. It was the arrogance of that lot. Yeah. Because they came close last season. It's just as if they deserve to beat everybody. And you saw, I mean, I don't particularly like West Ham, but that's mainly because of the fans, because they're so fucking mouthy. I don't mind David Moyes. A lot of their players I quite like. I'd love that Jared Bowen here. But that they completely silenced the Gooners at home, at the Chamarats the other day, shows that I think that Mr. I am perfect, I am Lego Pep. I don't think he's going to get anywhere. I really don't. Sticking my neck out here, but I don't think that he has the mentality to get a team across the line to win a championship.
All right. And the good thing is, obviously, last season they folded because of pressure and they bottled it. And Arsewetter is not that good at pressure himself. So we've already put in... sorry, Arsewetter, that's what I call him. And we win today. We're 1 point behind them. Yeah. Whereas, again, they were top of the league, 5 minutes ago, and they keep fucking it up. And I just think it's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to watch.
Well, it's kind of amazing as well, isn't it? What did they say the other day? Is 10 teams out of 10 teams out of the last 12 who were top at Christmas have won the Premiership. Mm-hmm. I'm not. You can't count them out now. I just don't think they will.
Nah, of course.
I think the Scousers will do it. I think City will probably come back strong now. De Bruyne is back. What's his name? Alvarez seems to be maybe the long lost replacement for Aguero. And Phil Foden, the Stockport Messi. That guy's unplayable sometimes.
He's unbelievable. I've seen him a couple of times now in the last few weeks. Yeah.
I only see him on Match of the Day, so I don't know the mistakes that he makes.
Yeah, I watched the game yesterday. Yeah, 23 years old he is. Really? Yeah. He's got 3 titles already, 3 Premier titles.
Yeah. Seems like a really nice bloke as well when he gets interviewed. He's quite humble.
Everything, really. I just hope he continues on the upward, Yes. For this case of England, basically, because he'll be there forever. I mean,
Oh, come on, Kev. You don't give a shit about England. That's a joke.
The missus obviously does. If Ireland can't win it, they're the next best team to win it. If Ireland ain't going to win anything, So.
Well, the Scots might have a chance. You never know.
I'll get out. They'll go home without winning the game as usual, like they normally do. They'll be on the plane with their kilts on and everything else, and partying with the hero hostesses, and
they go home with the worst hangover and do it all again 4 years later. So
dragging their sorry asses home and whatever, and But they'll make the fans will make plenty of friends. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, as usual. So yeah.
Favourite goal?
I've got a doozy for this one, if you want me to go.
Yeah, go on then.
It's a bloke called Joe Matip. He's got a brilliant goal for Tottenham v Liverpool in the 96th minute. It's a fucking cracker. Thunderbolt. That one had me dancing around the room, screaming. That was my favourite goal of the year. It really
that was a finish and a half, wasn't it? Bloody hell.
Yeah. The fucking cracker.
I like that. That's a little bit left field, mate. Lovely.
Yeah, I know, but it tickles me every time I think of it, you know, because the outrage it caused and everything else, you know.
Okay, Simon.
Our recent game against Everton, where we won, the first goal. Do you know, I've probably watched this goal at least 10 times. It's incredible. It starts off with Romero, ends up with Richie tapping it in, and it's the perfect Spurs goal for me. It involves 7 different players.
Slick,
not just like passing to each other and getting the ball back. 7 different players, and you know, Everton don't even get a touch on the ball, and Cooley doesn't even touch the ball. That's how good it was. He dummies it, and it's just a perfect goal. And you almost forget who you're playing, because it doesn't matter who we play against. When we play like that, we score goals like that, we can do that against anybody. And it's such a great goal that it made you feel like we could do this every single minute of the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, just the way it built up, just simple passing, you know, the odd dummy, just being that little bit quicker than them, just being that little bit more smarter, and Richie finally remaining on side, and just. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing to watch. You know, it's a masterpiece of a goal. And I'm so happy to watch goals like that. Compared to that, let's not forget how many years we put up with a lot of crap, and then we score goals like that, and it's a dream come true, absolute dream come true.
Well, I had a choice. Sorry.
I was going to say, my missus even got goosebumps watching that one. She said to me, "Look at it." She said, "That goal was so fantastic," and all that. She was there.
No, I had a choice of 2. The first one I thought was Sun versus Palace, which was a little bit like it was last season, a little bit like the goal that you were just talking about. They played it out from the back. Pass after pass after pass, and then he knocked it in. But I'm going to go for Mora versus Leeds, where he dribbled it from the halfway line. His last game,
the
end of last season,
that was
and then knocked it in.
Way to go!
He was, I think, he was overlooked a lot. Obviously everybody remembers the Champions League semi-final, and I think, but his passion he's a lot like Pedro Porro. He's just so. When he was at the club, he gave his all, and his "Come on you Spurs, come on you Spurs, come on you Spurs, come on you Spurs" on Twitter always made me smile. And I think he was a great servant to the club. He was only there for 4 or 5 years, something like that. But I will go with that just because his close control. I think he used to lose his head a lot, and he'd try and run through defenders who were like 3 times the size of him. But this time he actually thought, hang on a minute, maybe I'll dodge the defenders. And he went through and knocked it in, and that was lovely to see. His last appearance for Tottenham, for who I think was a great servant for us.
Yeah.
If only for his passion. Yeah, I know he didn't play as many games as other players, but I think I'll go for that one. Right. So finally, prediction for next season, or prediction for next year. That should have been. Sorry. Let me read.
I mean, for the end of this season. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. For May.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going top 4. But I'd like to see 2. Well, I'd definitely like to see 1, but I think we might be lucky to get 2. But
really,
kind of runners up is still, but getting the Champions League without any qualifications or anything like that would be a dream. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you reckon, son?
Well, you know where I'm going with this, don't you?
FA Cup.
Yep. I want the FA Cup. Give me the FA Cup. I want the FA Cup so bad.
You'll be about 10% towards it after next Friday night. We'll know a bit more by then.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the best competition, domestic competition going. You can. The league's only useful for getting into the Champions League, and you don't get anything for winning the league. And everybody, you've got a target on your back as soon as you win the league. For the FA Cup, it means you're literally the best in the country. And I mean literally. I know a lot of people say literally. They're literally saying it a lot. But this literally is the best in, because the FA Cup's open to absolutely every single team in the land. And therefore, the best team in the land wins the FA Cup. And that's the only competition you can say that about. It's like, we are literally the best in the country. And that's why I want it. And we've got a strong history of it, of course. Want it more than most. And I think we should bring that back. I think you win the FA Cup, right? You're a team that's feared. Do you know what I mean? You win the league, you're a team that's targeted, and everybody just wants to knock you off your perch. You win the FA Cup, you're a team that's feared. It's like you can beat anybody from there on in. And did they still, when you win the FA Cup, does it still automatic qualification for Champions League?
No, I don't know if they were going to change the rule in a year or two. I think maybe.
I can't remember because the rules change so often these days. I can't remember if that's still automatic qualification if you win the FA Cup or not. I'm not sure, but just everybody wins if we get the FA Cup, and that's all I want. And there's a certain magic about that competition that I want. You don't get with anything else. So yeah, that's what I think. We're going to win, and we're going to beat Liverpool in the final 4-3
with a handball right at the end.
We're going to win,
didn't they, Friday? So that could be
we're going to win. We're winning the final 4-3, and the referee's going to knock in the fourth one for us in the 118th minute.
Just stepping out for a minute.
Sorry, I just had to go for a wee. So.
And then Klopp's just going to have a heart attack and implode on the sideline.
This is a very good point from John. Favourite goal, special mention for Tayu Awoniyi for Forest to put the final nail in the Goons' coffin last season. Meant they couldn't win the league. Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't seen it, but I totally agree.
that's one of the reasons that Forest have struggled this season, because he's been out. He looked absolutely phenomenal last season. So, yeah. But
looking at their position, they're dangerously close to the bottom, and I really hope they don't go down. I'd rather Everton go down than them.
I've never had a big liking for our blue cousins on Scousland. Funnily enough, I've never had a big liking for the red cousins on Scousland. But anyway, yeah. So I think end of next season, because it's Angie's first season and he's done so well, and he's gone over and above what I would have expected. I thought it would have been mid-table while he learns his way around the league. We've gone out there and blown people away in the first few games. Looked absolutely brilliant. But now injuries have happened. Obviously, when you play this kind of high-tempo football, it's always going to happen, isn't it? When the players are basically almost running for the whole 90 minutes.
Hoping for a resurrection of goodness in the new year, to be honest. Yeah.
But I'd be happy with I'd be happy with the Europa League place. And I'd love to win the FA Cup. same as you, Simon, but I don't see it happening. I don't think he'll play a strong team on Friday, and I have a feeling we're going to go out in the third round again.
Do you want to make a bet on this the same way you did with Royale?
Oh, not again! Fucking hell! How much do I owe you now? Jesus. No, I don't, because I'm not confident on either. But
anyone got any worries about Ange being poached by any bigger club or anything like that? No. No, I don't mean this season. I mean in a year or two, down the line.
There's a possibility. We had the same with Pochettino, didn't we? We all thought he was the best thing since sliced bread. So it just
it's a good question. I mean, I think it depends. Knowing what Ange is like, it all depends on things like January transfer window, things like that. Yeah. I think those are big like nails that either go in the coffin or they don't go in the coffin.
Yeah, he'd pack up his bags and go, couldn't he? Really?
Yeah. I think he could get pissed off very quickly with things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Too many cheats.
So, au revoir, Hugo.
Au revoir. Mm-hmm.
Au revoir, everyone.
It's been
and Messi.
It's been emotional. He's had some absolutely wonderful performances, and he's had a few stinkers, but all goalkeepers do. I think he's one of the best goalkeepers I've ever seen at Tottenham live.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, who's he up against? Paul Robinson, Aurelio Gomez.
Yeah.
I think I saw Pat Jennings
Ian Walker.
once. Sorry, Ian Walker. Yeah, I think I saw Pat Jennings once live towards the end of his career. Maybe
I've seen him a few hundred times, didn't I?
Yeah. And he was probably our best goalkeeper ever, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hugo has been from 1 minute, that guy can't save penalties, to the next 5 penalties he saved, especially that one in the North London derby in the 90th minute. So we held on for the draw. Some of the saves that guy's made. He's made a lot of mistakes as well, but I've got a lot of respect for Hugo. Maybe it dropped a little bit with the old red wine drinking and driving, but shouldn't really be mentioning that now, because we're here to honour one of Tottenham's great players in the last 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
He seems to have aged a lot in the bloody picture I saw of him yesterday. God,
yes,
wrinkles.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
With that defence in front of him, but he's done what we can always ask of any player. He's given us more positives than negatives. And during his time with us, he's obviously captain of his country, for crying out loud, and a World Cup winning country as with that as well. Mm-hmm. We really kind of like lucked out with him. I think we got him from was it Leon? Was it?
Yes. Yeah.
Way back when.
Yeah.
And I really hope he gets a shed load of money, which is obviously what he's gone for LA to Los Angeles for, because he deserves it. And I think for me, when I almost didn't think about like the defense when he was there, because you see his name on the team sheet, it's like, right, okay, that's sorted. We don't need to worry about that. Do you know what I mean? You look at people like Gomez and stuff, and you think, oh my God, if Gomez starts running outside the box, when is he going to? He's going to do it. When is he going to do it? And all that kind of stuff. With Hugo, it is such a big sense of security and everything, and we've got a great replacement. But and luckily we did, because it's big shoes to fill. And I wish him all the best.
Yeah.
I was never sure about him being the captain of the side, though. That was one sort of little bone of contention with me, because he wasn't vociferous enough. He was at the back.
Yeah. It's never worked out any goalkeeper's being captain, does it? It's never really worked.
Too far away from the action, isn't he? And speaking to referees, getting in their ear hole and all that kind of stuff. It's a bad position to be. So speak to the referee. He should be in amongst it.
Well, I don't think that a forward or a goalkeeper should be captain. I think you need someone, a defender or a midfielder who's, as you say, is there in the thick of the action. yeah, obviously
it is what it is. I mean, he was made that way, and he never changed it. Because Harry Kane knows every trick in the book, and he can talk to referees and confuse them and whatever. And on his actions and words.
Sorry.
Yeah, but it's the one thing. But it's picky. I'm being picky, but it's just one thing. It's nothing to denigrate him at all. It's kind of
Yeah.
He's a nice bloke in real life. Apparently, a friend of mine. You talking about wine earlier? He works for a removal company, and they removed him from one side of London to the other bit wherever he lives. It wasn't far, but they're packing up all these French antiques and everything else, and all this and all that, and moving it. And the wine collection was massive. And when they finished, they all got a bottle of wine off him. And it wasn't no cheap. It was proper French wine. You've got hundreds of bottles of it, and proper stuff.
So they put it in a pint glass, and yeah.
Have one of these to drive on the way home, lads.
In a mug that they've already had a tea in.
Just wash it out a bit. You do realise that was like 200 quid you've just thrown out the window.
It was good gear anyway, I know that much. He told me.
Oh, nice. Okay then, guys. Any other business? And any plugs?
You're coming over to Blight, aren't you? Yeah.
Sorry?
You're coming over here this week, aren't you? How long are you for?
Yes, yeah. Flying out on Tuesday, back on Saturday. So, I might be able to do a show next Sunday. I'm not sure.
We've got a Friday night game, haven't we? So let's...
Okay. Well, no, I should be because I'm back on Saturday night. So I'll set it up if you're up for it.
Yeah. They're about nothing to talk about.
Yeah, there
always will be in the week and everything. Yeah.
And so I'd just like to say, Merry New Year.
What's that?
Have you not seen Trading Places?
Yeah, but not for about 20 years.
Okay. I love that film. Eddie Murphy, absolutely brilliant. But no, I'd like to thank you both for being regulars on the show for the last year or so. Mm-hmm. It's always been a pleasure. It's great to talk about Spurs because I have no people over here to talk about it with, apart from it was my wife's birthday yesterday and the whole family turned up. We had some drinks, etc. And the only thing I got was, how'd it go against Brighton?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's nice to actually talk to some football fans. I'd also like to thank Johnny Einstein, LJ, John, my friend since primary school. It's always good to see you, mate. Has Spurs, Dave McGarry. Haven't seen you in a while, mate. If you're watching, be lovely to see you. Brian, Canadian Brian, and Eugene as well. If I didn't say him, and anyone else who's watched and supported the channel, which is not many of you, you fucking bastards. Only got 47 subscriptions. Anyway, but it's always lovely to see you.
Oh, thank you, Agnes. Anyway, I did throw a few sickies this year. Sorry about that, but
Oh, that's all right. That's no problem. I think I did as well, but doesn't matter.
It's been a pleasure. I'm the same. I'm in Northeast, so obviously there's not many Spurs fans around. And the missus is trying her best, but doesn't really.
Mine gave up years ago.
So,
did I tell you this story about the Spurs fan walking down the street towards me recently over here?
No.
Me and the missus, we walked to the bank, and I see a fella coming towards me. He had one of the new Get Here, whatever it was. Get Here tops, I see it from a distance, and she said to me, "Didn't you see that bird?" I said, "I see a bird walking towards me." She said, she was walking along, she had a woolly dress on and no bra on, and it was like practically see-through, and her nipples were sticking out like that. And she said, "Did you see her?" I went, "No, I was watching the geezer in the Spurs kit." I couldn't believe it. She said, "I thought you'd have seen that. You're always looking at the women like that." I totally missed it.
Oh, Kev, bloody hell!
I know. She dressed like a hooker. She was like a hooker because you don't see that sort of thing, you know what I mean? But she was strutting like a hooker as well, like giving it all that. How did I miss that? Spurs.
Yeah, she was probably a gooner, They'd do anything for a few quid.
That's me. But
okay then, guys.
Yeah, I'm getting more confident, if you don't mind me saying as well. I speak a bit more now than I used to. Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I always thought you always put across a good point, and it's always fun to hear the exploits that you used to get up to, following the Spurs home and away, abroad, and everything like that. It's I only did it a couple of times, go abroad, but it's good to hear someone who actually did it properly.
When it's FA Cup time, there's so many highs and so many lows. It's you can think of Port Vale, or you can think of Manchester
Neil Rudd scored our goal that day.
It's a roller coaster, just as much as the Premier League is.
Yes.
But I'll be too old to do all that travelling nowadays.
Yeah. Nate Spurs says, get yourself on other channels and promote this one, matey. Can't rely on those wankers on Spurs community. You will probably, Kev, you probably know Nate Spurs as AW, Arsenal Who. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, I do, yeah. He don't know me, though.
Oh, don't he?
He doesn't know me, does he? Okay. He's a Who, I'm TCO. No, he won't know. Yeah.
Okay, then, guys. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve.
Yes, you too. Have a safe one.
Yeah, I'll catch up with you next Sunday.
Yes,
come on, you Spurs.
Happy New Year. Come on, you Spurs.
Yes, all the best. Come Spurs.
That was a while ago. Rings bells.
Yeah. All the best.
Oh, has he gone?